Hi guys, welcome back on Sports Khabri, Curious Harry and Arun Foot. Today we are also joined by Nilanjan Datta from Bol Dada Bol, fastest growing Indian football YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Nilanjan, for joining us. Guys, disappointing is I don't even think it's the right word. उससे भी ज़्यादा ही बहुत बुरा feel हो रहा है. Of course, and 2 hours is not good enough for us to process what has happened in Qatar. So quickly, guys. First reactions, Rahul. Actually, I'll
Yeah,
start with Ranjan because he is joined. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Who wants to start?
Okay, yeah, this is
नहीं
good.
नीलंजन सर को मौका दिया जाए, हम तो बोलते ही
Yes.
रहते हैं, उनको दिया जाए।
ये जवाई करने से पहले ना वो पहले वाला बकरा वही होता है, चलो काटो उसको ही। हाँ, it's pathetic man. It's one of our lowest ebb in recent years. Our performance has not been this below par ever, except perhaps our failure to qualify for the 2015 Asian Cup from the AFC Challenge Cup in, what do you say, in Myanmar. But this does not, no logic can ever kind of explain how this has happened, why this has happened. And the tragedy of the entire situation is there are explanations in Indian football which are more than the accountability of certain personnel, and that's what is hurting us. People have an agenda, we don't have an agenda. Still people point a finger that these are the guys who are negative. I get messages from players saying, oh, you have become negative, he has become negative, he has become negative. But there's no accountability, not on behalf of the players, but certain individuals who are trying to explain everything as if the entire country of 1.5 billion people are fools, nothing else. It's pathetic, it's extremely heartbreaking, it's total frustration coming out from myself.
Arunava, you've time and again warned us that this was going to happen. Now, sadly, once again, you have been proven right. Your reaction?
Yeah, I don't want to be a messiah or something, but what I always say is either you live in reality or you live in La La Land. And the blame starts first with the coach. It continues with the AFF. But I also cannot take the players out of the blame. Because with a performance like today, no one deserves to wear an India shirt. I take Gurpreet out a little because he kept us in the game. Otherwise, we would have lost 4-5-6-0. But this is not a performance in an India shirt. And that is something I've been fortunate to watch a lot of matches this time here on the AFC Live via One Football. And if I see the matches, if I see how Tajikistan yesterday fought for their lives, if I see how an Iraq or a Jordan give everything to defend against a Japan and a Korea, and we are just, I don't know what we're doing. And people are trying to create a narrative that, we did well in this half, we did this well, or, we put on that many passes. Oh, you know what? We had 53% of ball possession against Uzbekistan. All of that doesn't count. I mean, Ivory Coast yesterday lost with 68% ball possession, 4-0. Iraq had 27% ball possession against Japan. Japan had 23% or 18% against Spain or Germany at the World Cup. All this talk about stats, about ball possession, about how we play, it doesn't matter. Football is played for results. Nobody will remember. This is why people talk about 2011, the 4-0 loss to Australia, the 2-5 loss to Bahrain, the 1-4 loss against South Korea, and say, we were bad because we've got 3 to 13 goals in our stats. I was lucky I was there. I was proud of that performance that India put in, of all the boys who were there, I am today ashamed of the performance that India's put in this tournament. And I will always support this team. I will always support the boys. But I know what Nilanjan is saying, because I've had those kind of communications as well, is some of the boys also need to come back into reality. Some of our Indian national team players are not realizing that they are not world beaters. And someone at the top needs to say, listen, I am accountable for this. Accountability is something which we don't have in Indian football, which we didn't have in the past, and we don't have, is that. And it is, it's shameful. It's just shameful. And it's again, something needs to happen. Something needs to change, because otherwise we'll go to the Asian Cup most probably in 3 years again in Saudi Arabia. And if we have another strong group like this, we'll have another piece of embarrassment.
Now, throughout the watch along, you were of course trying to be positive, but as soon as we conceded that goal, you didn't speak for a long time after that. Your views, Rahul?
No, I think that's football. So I think that's there. You lose a game, any game, I think you're disappointed. I think it's more disappointing when you sort of come out in the way India has come out in this tournament. 3 losses, we haven't scored a goal, we haven't taken a point. That is, I mean, it doesn't get worse than that. Unless like you end up getting thrashed 5-0 every game and whatever. But it's really sad and it's disappointing. And of course, as a football fan, I would be disappointed. And if regardless of which team it is, India, BFC, Arsenal, doesn't matter. You can't say, oh yeah, you know what, it was okay. Like you have to come out and say, we weren't good enough and things have to change, and that's the reality of it, right? Like what can you say? Because the performances, I thought today's performances was the worst out of the 3, in the sense that it just looked like the boys were going through the motion. I didn't see any intent after the first 15-20 minutes, and that's sad, because Syria was the one game that you sort of went in and thought, okay, what, we can maybe get something out of this, if not a win, at least a draw. But we didn't really provide anything in the game after 15-20 minutes, so that was really sad to see.
Yeah. Hiren, Arnav spoke about accountability. Post-match conference में आपने सुना कि क्या बोला गया. Do you think, can you see some people जिनसे we were expecting to take accountability? Do you see them taking accountability in the coming days?
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हेलो टू एवरीवन, एंड एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगा, सैल्यूट टू इंडियन फुटबॉल फैंस कि दे हैव, आई डोंट नो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ किस चीज से वो बने हैं, आई डोंट नो, मतलब आई थिंक टू सपोर्ट इंडियन फुटबॉल स्टिल, आई थिंक दिस इज अ, आई थिंक मतलब आई कांट पुट इट इन अ वर्ड, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. आई थिंक सैल्यूट टू देम, and I think these clowns, all of them, players, coach, and this AFF, I think they needs to be, you can say, I think kick away from Indian football, far away, where they don't find a pitch again, to be honest. I think that's what my feeling. I think this egoist image, some of the players, Kalyan and Saji also, I think needs to be kick away. And I think absolutely symbolic performance from our side. And so, I think the arrogance egoist image shown in the press conference, I think that shows he is fail as a coach, to be honest. I think he has not a single answer for a, you can say, question. I think he blamed referees, he blamed you can say ISL for not scoring a single goal. I understand you can't score goals due to the lack of striker, but football is, you can say, is not game where only strikers can score goals. So he straight away put like that we don't have a striker in the ISL, so that's why we are not scoring. So what is kind of joke you are making? And he blamed everyone, every single thing he blamed, but not a single time he took the responsibility. This is my failure of 5-year project I have been in India, and this is due to that also. So I think that's the biggest disappointment for Mimi. And I think AFF also kind of do the same thing. They will blame maybe coach, player, anything, situation, anything. But I think still, I think they will not take, you can say, responsibility. So these people thrown away from the Indian football far away. This is a fans' responsibility. I think fans will maybe forget in 1 week or 2 week. Maybe in March we will win 2 Afghanistan matches and we will be celebrating like we are going to round 3. But I think in 2027, I think history will repeat again. To be honest, I think that's my feeling, because if these things are not changing, then I think we are going nowhere. To be honest.
Actually, I have a question for Arnava and Nilanjan. I know because you guys have sort of been in the system for so long. To me, from an like having been sort of following Indian football for the last closely, at least for the last year, I always felt like the AFC Asian Cup had more weight than sort of the round 3 of the World Cup qualifiers, because at the end of the day, an AFC Asian Cup is a tournament and everybody's watching. Entire Asia is watching, of course. Other people from around the world will be watching. People in Europe are watching, and to me, it felt like an occasion. And I think it would end, at the end of the day, be bigger than making round 3 of the World Cup qualifiers. Again, of course, I'm not taking away the fact that round 3 of the World Cup qualifiers will give you so many more games against good opposition and things like that. But purely round 3 versus AFC Asian Cup, what would you guys say? Would you think the AFC Asian Cups holds more weight? Because to me, it just feels like it does.
Sorry.
I thought you will go first, Arnav. Yeah, obviously, this is the Continental Championship. It's the World Cup and the Euro. And what do you say? It's the World Cup and the AFC Asian Cup. It's obviously important, the World Cup round 3 qualifiers, but it's not the qualification into the World Cup. So a qualification process cannot be as important as a continental championship. But we have devalued and demeaned the championship ourselves. We have said that once we said the Asian Cup qualifiers are important, since we are resting players for, what do you say, the World Cup qualifiers. Post-match, it was told, okay, no, the World Cup qualifiers are important, not the Asian Cup. Question comes, why did you rest players then? We created the confusion ourselves. People bought that narrative ourselves, that themselves, that okay, the Asian Cup is not an important tournament. What kind of messaging is this? The sacrifices on behalf of the players, the support staff, even the coaching staff, including the coach, has been immense. I remember that night I was with the team as a media officer when we qualified in Kolkata. We understood we had qualified, what do you say, when we beat Afghanistan, and that mood in that team bus. We had 2 team buses. We, owing to still the COVID situation, every player was having a single room at that time. It was, what do you say, the mood in that team bus कि इस बार हम लोग को second round जाना ही है hook or crook. There were people embracing each other, dancing within the bus. दादा आप इस बार जाइएगा ना AFC, हम लोग चलेंगे. Everyone wanted to prove a point, and all of that build up, all of that aim, that vision has been demeaned. And you look at the championship, everything has been demeaned. The players, we missed players, certain players, but the players who came in, we insulted them saying we are missing them. Not that the players who came in as substitutes were responsible for the loss. Absolutely not. They played their heart out and put in noteworthy performances in comparison to the performance which we had. We insulted players. We insult our players again when we say we don't have PIOs. We don't have origin players. That's a different debate altogether. We do not need to go out there and portray ourselves as naked people that we don't have. हमारे पास नहीं है, नहीं है, नहीं है. तो भाई तो आप क्यों है? ये कौन पूछेगा भाई साहब आप क्यों है? सभी यदि ठीक रहता, क्या नहीं है. The other day I put in on my channel, a friend of my daughter came in घर पे, and I was watching Uzbekistan versus क्या कहता है इंडिया. मैं बोला क्या वो बैठो देखो. She doesn't watch football. है आजकल की teenage girl from Delhi. She's 18, I guess. बैठी अंकल को ना नहीं बोल पाई. After 2-3 minutes she was feeling kind of restless. मैं भाग जाओ, looking for an excuse, hoping the phone rings. Uncle चला मैं thank you. She asked, India कौन सा है? White ना blue? I said blue. बोला अंकल बॉल तो उस तरफ जा ही नहीं रहा है. I said yeah. Then she excused herself and went and said हम लोग को ना अंकल ट्रेनिंग बच्चे को ज्यादा देनी चाहिए. We need to train the kids. She understood it. Everyone knows who does it. The man who's been employed for the same, but he goes out giving excuses. So we are devaluing our own product and expecting results. You cannot be insulting everyone, as Hiren said, and devalue everything and expect everything going hunky dory good.
Arunava?
I mean, Steve had said before the tournament that the Asian Cup is just preparation, and we'll work towards reaching the third round of the World Cup qualifiers, which in itself is a story, because in the past you had 12 or even 10 teams playing the final round of Asian qualifiers, and we're nowhere near the top 10 or the top 12 of Asia. And this time 18 teams are qualifying. We are in a group with teams like Afghanistan and Kuwait, where it should be possible for us. It's a huge achievement for Indian football if we do, but on the other side, it is much easier than what it was in the past. And the worst thing is what Rahul said, that the players went through the motions. I've seen so many matches of Team India, and Nilanjan has seen so many matches of Team India live. I have so often, even in matches where we're inferior, I've seen the spark come across to me and to the other fans. At least watching it, and again, we did 3 watch-alongs. I never felt a spark. I even walked out in 2 of the lives and took a loo break, which I would never do in a football game. If if India or Germany is playing, or club sides, whatever, except if I have to go to the loo. But today I went in the second half and I was like, we're going to concede anyway at some stage. And this is what hurts, because it feels like you're becoming this is a certain level of apathy coming in, that you're not bothered about it because you know what's going to happen. And I've had this feeling for months. I even was thinking about 12 days ago, you know what? Okay, take it, chalo, last second, let's go to Doha and watch the 3 matches. Due to personal reasons, I decided against it. And I today say, you know what? Most probably was the right decision, because I would be even more annoyed if I was now sitting in Doha and talking to you guys, having watched those games. Because this is, and I remember Akshata said something a few days back, the Sunil interview before the tournament. It just is. Everything didn't add up, and it's our reality was not last summer when we won the SAF and Intercontinental, because at home, those teams at that level, we should even be beating a Kuwait and a Lebanon. But this in Qatar was a World Cup where it had 2 very, very good opponents in Australia and Uzbekistan, who, especially Australia, didn't have a good game against us. Let's be honest about that. And today, Syria beat us with passion. Syria, of course, has those guys from South America who can play football, who brought in this intensity and all. For once, Steemach is today complaining about the referee.
Yes.
What is he talking about? India should have, if we are honest, India should have never ended the game with 11 players.
Players.
So we have to be, introspection is something which is needed. And I put out a tweet a few minutes ago. We need a real and honest introspection of things, and not this BS in press conferences where you're just trying to cover up. But who is going to ask for that? Will that be the AFF president? Will it be the technical committee who reappointed this gentleman? The secretary is gone. We don't know what the courts will decide.
No, just an information. When you say that, just an information which a journalist friend of mine just told me, that the court has asked the minutes of the executive committee to be ratified for them to be taking a final decision. It's also going viral on social media as we speak. Karun, continue, Aruna, please.
All right. Okay. Thanks for that info. but it shows to you that someone is also sitting in Qatar and tweeting like an expert on football and has not done the
Football.
job while he was at the job.
Hmm.
These people should be ashamed of themselves. But I know this is India, this is Indian football in today's world. None of them will, none of them are accountable.
Hmm.
None of them.
That's
And-
why, sir.
And all of
Ne-
them, if you had any balls, if you are a real man, starting with Kalyan, all of you would resign, starting with the president, the whole exco, technical committee, national coach. All of these
Nahi,
people.
sir.
But you will not do it.
That's why I also tweeted ki player failed, ego damage player, AFA failed, but they will remain, and some of the Indian football fans might leave after this you can say key performance. So that will be the only which is going to be changed. Nothing else. I think these people will remain there. Players are also the performance after putting Udanta was our second half best player. That's what Igor Steven says. But what are you saying? And he said that Syria has a 5 million player and our total score value is 2.5 million. So how can I compete? Then the PSG won every Champions League every time. What is I mean totally? I think after the press conference, I think and the I also want to you can say ki, mention one thing. I think our journalists are also very very cool people. I think he continuously disrespect them, and still they are going. I think they boycott this his press conference. I think he is giving respect to the foreign journalist right away, and against the Indian journalist, is showing a tantrum. So what is he doing? Kick out this man.
Linda, I have a question for you. I mean, it's okay if you don't want to answer, and because you worked in that capacity. Uh, isn't the coach advised before making certain statements in front of the media, or regulated before any press conference?
Well, obviously, the communication guy, or in this case, the media manager, or the media officer of the team, would be having a chat with him. It's a very quick chat, and you need to have 30-40 seconds to just brief him. What to avoid, what to say, very brief chat. If at all, we go second into the pre-match or the post-match press conference as to what the previous coach has been saying. And obviously, it's also a follow-up of what, once you're into the camp, what the media is saying, what the mood is. But that can only be advised and told. You can advise me, or I can advise you, vice versa, or among all of us. But if I am hell-bent on saying so, it depends on the coach. That's how the world of communication around works. But that's how it is. See, and means trying to explain is the most weird thing. I means this thing doesn't get to me. We have had failures. We have had failures. Bob has faced failures. Naim Saab has faced failures. The great late PK Banerjee has faced failures. Savio sir has faced failures. Armando sir faced a failure. Wim faced so many failures, but they never explained or tried to shrug off everything. Stephen faced a failure, heartbreak. Everyone, you, me, everyone. But it cannot be told that all of you are explained in a manner that all of you don't know anything. All of you are on the wrong track. Indirectly, that all of you are fools. And some of them are jumping in joy that, okay, we are fools and we need to follow what is being told and explained. That's the biggest setback for Indian football right at the present moment. I'm not saying we know better than other individuals who are there. They are there for a reason. But what is happening in front of us, if we are explain that
What
people
is the reason? Sorry to interrupt. What is the reason? Why they are there? Due to
vested
their quality?
interest, vested interest,
Due
and
to their quality?
vested interest. Maybe
Yeah.
desperation to save something or the other. Otherwise, why will I be always going out to explain? And what are you explaining? It's out in the open world. People are laughing at us. Asia is laughing at us that every country has taken that next step. We are taking a back step.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that photo that three people are standing behind Australia, Uzbekistan, and Syria, and one girl is standing sit down. Have you seen that photo?
No, I haven't.
I think they are mocking a troll football. I think make a mockery about that. So completely, I think we are a laughing stock, and that is the biggest disappointment.
And
These
and
clowns
and the
have.
other part which all of you will agree, and all of those who are buying that narration of explanation need to understand, is that 2019 we had reached a certain stage. It's bad luck we could not hold on for that last 1 minute or 50-60 seconds. Otherwise a round of 16 would have been historic. The coach deserved it, the players deserved it, India deserved it, Indian football deserved it. Didn't happen, no problem. We had reached a level. Why did we need to destroy the entire system, bring it back down, and try to again climb up the ladder? No, we should have been built up from there. That's what was painful, defied any all logic. Why did we need to destroy the system? We had a bench, and whatever you bring in, the entire vision needed to be okay. We are building up from here. In international football or in international sports, be it any sports, climbing up is so difficult. It cannot be okay. मैं जो करूंगा मैं नीचे आ जाता हूँ फिर मैं ऊपर लेके जाऊंगा. And that's what has happened. I don't know what our ranking will be now. Look at the confidence of the team.
Currently, we are
And
117.
all of these players are
117.
experienced players, most of them. One more thing which people do not understand. Sorry, I'm speaking a lot.
No.
The pressure stays on a team when you are qualifying. Once you are into the championship, you just need to go out and play. There's no pressure at all. आपको क्वालिफिकेशन प्रोसेस में शर्म आ सकता है कि मैं नहीं कर पाया. You are into the championship. What experience you need to gain? So many of the players, 10 of them were in the Asian Cup already, out of which 6 to 7 are starting. हम experience gain कर रहे हैं. 4 साल बाद वही experience gain कर रहे हैं. अरे भाई कब तक experience gain करोगे? कभी तो बोलो जीना सीना चौड़ा करके आजा बेटा खेले भारतीय फुटबॉल, आज हम खेलते दिखाते हैं क्या करते हैं. और प्लेयर्स मानते हैं, बट उन लोगों को समझाया जाता है, पूरी देश को समझाया जाता है, नहीं ये तो बच्चा है. एंड व्हाट बच्चा, 31 साल 32 साल 49 years 31 years 29 years 32 years, ये बच्चा है. दे आर एक्सपीरियंस सीजनल प्रोफेशनल्स मैन. पीपल हैव प्लेड अब्रॉड. People are captaining their club sides. They have captained the country. They are gaining experience. Hilarious. I find that hilarious. Hard to digest. I have to be trolled. People मेरा messaging भी दे रहे हैं WhatsApp पे. क्या करे भाई, जो देखा है वही बोलेंगे.
पर अब क्या, I mean, आगे क्या हो सकता है अब? Because obviously there's a lot of disappointment. Even before the Syria match, people did not have a lot of hope. बातें पहले से ही शुरू हो गई थी. तो अब like from a fan perspective मैं पूछूं क्या होगा अब?
I will take this question prior to others. Please. I will take this question prior to others. हाँ. ये ना 1990s में इंडियन क्रिकेट का हालत है आज इंडियन फुटबॉल का. एक बड़ी चैंपियनशिप हार के जिम्बाब्वे के साथ बायलैटरल, केनिया के साथ बायलैटरल खेलता था 90s में. हाँ, अभी नहीं था. पहले हम भी मजाक करते रहे बांग्लादेश को बुलाओ. अभी क्या होगा? The next 2 matches are against Afghanistan. इससे सस्ता, आपकी सस्ता सुंदर टिकाऊ, इससे अच्छा आपको क्या मिलेगा? कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. आप जीतोगे. And as Arunava pointed out very rightly, it's not a big achievement getting into the into the third round of World Cup qualifiers from this round. It's historic. It will be historic if we go, and we all want to be there. It's no credit for anyone. कोई कोच नहीं चाहिए. कोई भारतीय कोच दे दो, वो क्वालिफाई करके ले जाएगा. आप 2 सैफ नेशन के साथ 4 मैच खेल रहे हो वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स में. 4 में से 2 टीम क्वालिफाई करेगा. 5 में से नहीं, पहले 5 होता था. ये तो होना ही है. अचीवमेंट वो होगा इफ वी क्वालिफाई, एंड ऑफ दैट 6 टीम्स वी फिनिश इन द टॉप 4. सैल्यूट करेंगे, बिल्कुल वो अचीवमेंट होगा. वी आर इनटू द वर्ल्ड कप. बट गेटिंग आउट ऑफ दिस ग्रुप इज नॉट ओनली एन अचीवमेंट. बट आपने जो पूछा व्हाट नेक्स्ट, क्योंकि वही फिर नरेशन आ जाएगा, वी वर राइट, देखो हम आगे प्रोग्रेस कर रहे हैं, हम तो नेक्स्ट स्टेप ले लिए है. फिर कोई बोला जाएगा यही सुपरस्टार है, और सुपरस्टार तो टीम में जिंक्स्ड है. मैं नाम ले लूंगा एक दिन, 5 या 6 सुपरस्टार को बोला गया, नेक्स्ट डे दे वर आउट ऑफ द टीम. तो कोई नया सुपरस्टार पैदा होगा, फिर लोगों को नरेशन समझाया जाएगा. एंड एज हिरेन सेड, पिटी फॉर द फुटबॉल फैंस. दे आर द बेस्ट फैंस, इंडियन फुटबॉल फैंस, बेस्ट फैन इन एनी इंडियन स्पोर्ट. क्रिकेट फैंस होता आपको पत्थर मार देते. द फैंस स्टिल स्टैंड बाय यू.
आई थिंक एक चीज जो मैं यहाँ पे क्लेरिफाई कर दूं, सर ने बिल्कुल सही बात बोली कि आफ्टर दी 1 मंथ, जब मार्च में अगर दोनों मैच हम जीत जाएंगे अफगानिस्तान के सामने, तो नैरेटिव ये बिल्ड किया जाएगा कोच की ओर से और सबकी ओर से कि दिस इज हिस्टोरिकल मोमेंट फॉर इंडिया। हिस्टोरिकल भाई किस सेंस में? आई थिंक 2-3 दिन पहले जब हमने स्पेस की तब भी आई थिंक वो मेंशन किया गया था कि इससे पहले वर्ल्ड कप में कम टीमें थी, तो आपका राउंड 3 में 12 टीमें होती थी, अब वो बढ़ के 18 टीमें हो गई, इसीलिए आपका चांस बन रहा है। अब जब आप राउंड 3 में आप फोर्थ पोजीशन पे फिनिश कर सकते हो राउंड 4 में, तब आप टॉप 12 में आओगे, क्योंकि तीनों ग्रुप से आपकी चार चार क्या बोलते हैं कि दो दो टीमें क्वालिफाई हो जाएगी और थर्ड एंड फोर्थ वाली को आप नेक्स्ट राउंड में भेज सकते हो। सो अगर आप राउंड 3 को क्लियर बोलोगे ना, कर सकते हो ना, तब हम बोल सकते हैं कि इंडिया हैज यू कैन से कि मेक ए हिस्टोरिकल डेवलपमेंट, क्योंकि पहले आपकी 12 टीमें जाती थी, अब 18 टीमें जा रही है, इसलिए आप राउंड 3 में आपका जाना इजी हो गया है। अदरवाइज हम राउंड 3 में अभी भी नहीं जाते। अगर पुराना ही फॉर्मेट होता तो हम यहाँ पे राउंड 2 में ही रहते। तो अगर हम राउंड 3 में चले जाते हैं तो उसको इस तरह से बढ़ा चढ़ा के बोला जाएगा कि हाँ भाई इंडिया ने तो कुछ अलग ही कर दिया, पहली बार हम राउंड 3 में जा रहे हैं। हाँ, पहली बार जरूर जा रहे हैं, लेकिन वो ड्यू टू दी वर्ल्ड कप में टीम बढ़ी है, आपका जो फॉर्मेट है वो थोड़ा सा आपके लिए इज आउट हुआ है, उसमें राउंड 3 में जाना थोड़ा सा इजी हो गया है। दैट्स वाई। ऐसा नहीं है कि इंडिया ने उसमें कुछ बड़ा ऐसा क्या बोलते हैं तीर मार दिया इसलिए चले गए हैं। सो दैट नीड्स टू बी रिमेंबर बाय द फैंस, क्योंकि यही फैंस होंगे फिर कि भाई वो क्या बोलते हैं कि ईगो स्टेमिंग और उन सबके क्या बोलते हैं कि पीछे वो लगे रहे होंगे। तो आई थिंक दिस पीपल नीड्स टू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो आई थिंक अक्षता तुमने जो बोला ना कि क्या होना चाहिए, आई थिंक सबसे पहला तो 3 काम होना चाहिए। एक तो स्टीमेज को निकाल देना चाहिए, कुछ प्लेयरों को यहाँ पे हटाना पड़ेगा। आई थिंक वी नीड a revolution in the team also, and Kalyan Chobe, Saji and these people need to kick away from Indian football into the Bengal, you can say कि बंगाल की खाड़ी में, straight into that।
अरे नहीं नहीं नहीं, इतना ड्रास्टिक स्टेप्स नहीं नहीं चाहिए। Even you are passionate, maybe
अरे
we have
सर,
a different discussion on that someday. नहीं नहीं, not such drastic actions. I do not agree with you on that. Maybe we'll have a chat later on, please.
we I think एक करके we'll have to take steps, because then there will not be anybody in the system कि हम पता चले AIFF हाउस जाए, वहाँ पे कोई होगा ही नहीं for us
तो
to
इसमें
start.
नहीं होगा तो नहीं होगा तो क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? अभी भी हार रहे हैं, तभी भी हार रहे होंगे, कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ेगा। तो अभी क्या हमने कुछ कर लिया? होते हुए भी क्या कर लिया है? इससे तो अच्छा नहीं हो, सैलरी फालतू में नहीं देने की।
Or at one point you cannot counter the logic जो वीरेन बोल रहे हैं, but okay वीरेन, that's बात करेंगे हम इसके बारे में आप।
So much of emotions right now, of course. It's all coming from that place. But anything else that you think that, I mean, I'm to be very honest, I'm just like feeling so lost that I don't even know कि अब क्या बातें करो, क्योंकि हम इतने दिन से यही बातें कर रहे हो। In a way, though we were hoping कि कुछ अलग बात करेंगे, हाँ, but we
नहीं
end
नहीं
up वही
इसमें नहीं
हम वापस से वही आ जाते हैं कि वो जो मैं शाम को आपको चकदे का बोल रही थी, और इंडियन टीम की वही पुरानी प्रॉब्लम, तो हम वही वापस
इसमें इसमें फ्रस्ट्रेशन ज्यादा क्यों है पता है? कि ये लोग अपनी गलतियां मान नहीं रहे। नहीं तो फिर भी आपको समझ में आता कि हाँ भाई आपने ये सारी चीजें गलत की है, हम इसको क्या बोलते कि रेक्टिफाई करके इसको इम्प्रूव करने की कोशिश करेंगे। इतना तो आप में क्या बोलते कि एक वो ऑनेस्टी इतनी तो होनी चाहिए। आप भले ही आप में इतनी हिम्मत ना हो कि आप पोस्ट से रिजाइन कर दो, बट आई थिंक इतना तो आप में वो होना चाहिए कि ऑनेस्टी की भाई हाँ हमने गलती की, हमारी ओर से। मे बी टीममेट्स की अगर ओर से बात करूँ तो उसकी ओर से आना चाहिए कि मे बी टीम सिलेक्शन में गलती हुई है, मे बी हमारा जो पिछला 4-5 साल का जो काम है उस तरह से नहीं करके आया सारी चीजें, तो आई थिंक वो उनको एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए। एएफएफ को अपनी ओर से जो गलतियां हुई है वो सारी एक्सेप्ट करनी चाहिए, रिगार्डिंग द प्लानिंग, रिगार्डिंग द फ्रेंडलीज, एवरीथिंग। सो आई थिंक एटलीस्ट ये तो हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं इस पोजीशन पे जब आप बैठे हो तब। अगर आप वो भी नहीं दिखाते और आप सामने एरोगेंस दिखाते हो, then I think you have no place. Simple as that.
Some people in the comments also wanted to know more about Sunil's role as the captain and, of course, as an integral part of the team. Rahul, he also plays for your club. What are your views on Sunil in the AFC Asian Cup?
Just a sec, everyone. I need to push off, please. See you, everyone. Arunavo, Rahul, Hiren, and Akshata.
Thank you.
World is small. We'll meet again.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you. Continue. I'll be following on YouTube. Please continue.
Yeah.
There's also 206 people watching us. Please like all the 3 channels. Sports Khabri, Curious Harry, Arun Foot. Arnav's channel, unfortunately, has been banned by YouTube, so he has put out a tweet. Please make sure that you retweet it, like it, comment on it, and so that we can reach out to YouTube and find a solution. He is, of course, live through his YouTube channel, so subscribe to all the YouTube channels also, and all the YouTube channels and all the Twitter handles as well. Yes, Rahul, please.
Yeah, on Sunil Chhetri, I think I don't know. We spoke about Sunil, and I don't know what more he could have done. It's not like he got chances. Um, Again today, the sort of when he had the ball, I think he was fine. Like he did his job. He got it wide when he had to, and he sort of made the right decision. So yeah, I don't know what more he could have done. I think from a leadership perspective, also I don't know what else he could have done. Again, I'm not in the dressing room, so I have no idea what sort of impact he has in the dressing room. Probably some players might be able to sort of tell us better. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else he could have
I
done.
think
He's a great person to have, at least as for BFC fans. I think he's been that one guy who's always, you can always look up to him. He's always been there since we were kids. I think we've seen Sunil Chhetri growing up. We've just seen Sunil Chhetri. He's been the guy who's always carried BFC on his back, and he does that. He still does that. So I don't think Sunil is ever going to shy away, and he didn't this time either. He played his heart out. He still gave his 100%. He pressed hard. So yeah, I don't think there are question marks over his commitment to the cause, at least. Like he seems committed. Of course, he's 39. It's not like he's going to be like when he was 30 or 30 whatever, 10 years younger. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have those many questions over him. He's old. I mean, he's aging. I'm probably his last Asian Cup. So yeah, I think we just wish him well.
From the player,
एक चीज नहीं नहीं अक्षता, मैं एक चीज सर से जानना चाहता हूँ रिगार्डिंग टीम्स एटमोस्फियर। आई थिंक वो कितना ज्यादा रोल प्ले किया है। जैसे आपने बात करी कि वो इस बार का जो एफसी एशियन कप था उसमें वो इंटेंट नहीं दिख रहा था टीम से। आई थिंक वो भी कहीं ना कहीं ऑफ ही लग रहा है कि टीम में भी वो एक ऐसे यूनिट परफॉर्मेंस नहीं देख रही है कि आई थिंक वो एक बॉन्डिंग या फिर जिस तरह से दिखना चाहिए।
and Nilanjan also pointed out some very important things कि अगर आपको बोला जा रहा है कि कि वो प्लेयर्स होते तो टीम स्ट्रॉन्गर होती, या जो भी आए हैं उनकी जगह, उनको भी एक लगता ही है। इनफैक्ट बाकी प्लेयर्स जिनके लिए बोला गया था, देयर हैव बीन प्लेयर्स जिनके ऊपर भी क्वेश्चन मार्क्स थे पहले।
It's difficult to judge a dressing room when you're not there, because from the outside and from the inside, a dressing room, it is the chemistry of a dressing room sometimes is something which can change. I mean, you saw when Syria scored the goal, they went berserk. You saw that bench. You saw that, I don't know if it was a physio or doctor, whoever was standing on the side, who literally ran onto the field. You saw there is something. Especially these Arabian sides have something in them that when they play with more than 100%. You saw, especially yesterday, you saw that Lebanon, Tajikistan. I mean, Rahul and I were doing a live at the time. It was an insane, intense football game, and they were finished. And I didn't see that. The Indian players looked tired. They looked finished. And I don't want to be the judge on Sunil, to be very honest, because Sunil has given so much to us that, and again, you listen to what he said after the match, that he's still trying to give everything. But is there a time where he has to then realize, am I able to give this team what it needs? Am I good enough at this level to compete in Asia? And it will be interesting to see what kind of a decision takes, because the bigger problem to me was inconsistency. Gurpreet has been shaky. Gurpreet was really, really good today. Akash was our best man against Uzbekistan. Today, he was a shadow of himself. I mean, easiest of clearances, totally messed it up. Rahul Beke looked initially out of sorts as a right back, who's been better as a centre back. Sandesh looked off against Uzbekistan. So we've had this. We don't have a player where you say, he or she was saying, he has been consistent in his performance in 3 matches or 2 matches whenever that he's played. And that is another thing that I always say, is that with our players, I know people are calling for younger players to come in and this and that and everything. Is tell me young players who've been consistent enough to earn an India call-up. It's now, I felt under Igor Stimac recently that certain players have gotten call-ups who do not deserve a call-up. You know, Udanta is being discussed. We discussed it pre-tournament. I still don't know why Udanta is here. As much as I like Udanta as a player, and I think Rahul would have loved Udanta in his prime, and Udanta has also given a lot to us. But at the moment, Udanta does not deserve to be in the squad. He does not even deserve to be on the field, if we're honest. And I still don't know what was the aim of the way we were playing. You know, what we were trying to achieve? Trying to avoid conceding a goal with that defense? Not possible. We are
It didn't
not
feel like we were trying to attack at all. It just felt like we were just trying to defend.
survive.
I mean,
Survive.
we made peace with
Survive.
that. हम तो नहीं कर पाएंगे गोल, हम बस रोक लेते हैं. It was actually giving that vibe.
And that's the problem, because if you are under attack for 90 minutes, either we will commit a mistake, as we've done against Australia and against Uzbekistan, or you have a brilliant goal like Syria scored. And we can thank the Syrians that their finishing is so bad. Otherwise, this would have been embarrassing. Every match, we could have lost 4, 5, 6-0.
And I think one thing also we have to mention regarding the there are some decision before the AFC Asian Cup appointment of Travers Sinclair. I think what is the use of him? You either one side you are telling that we don't have funds, other side you are appointing a high profile, you can say with a high level of salary assistant coach, जिसका मतलब आपको आज 3 कॉर्नर मिले, उसमें से 2 आपने उसके तरीके से लिए, आपने पूरा मतलब क्या बोलते हैं कि मैसअप कर दिया, एंड एक आपने अपने तरीके से लिया जो पास्ट में रहते थे, एंड दैट वुड यू कैन से कि थोड़ा सा बेटर था. सो आई थिंक ये सारे क्वेश्चन पूछे जाने चाहिए कि भाई इसका अपॉइंटमेंट का क्या रिजल्ट मिला, इस प्लेयर को क्यों सिलेक्ट किया गया, ब्रेंडन को क्यों स्टार्ट नहीं मिल रहा है, आपकी टीम सिलेक्शन के ऊपर क्वेश्चन होने चाहिए. ये सारे क्वेश्चन तो आपके होते नहीं है, एंड यही सारा आपका फेलियर है. आप हर वक्त आपको क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है, आप घुमा फिरा के बोल देते हो मेरे 2-3 प्लेयर नहीं थे, OCI नहीं है, मेरे को कैंप नहीं मिला, दैट्स व्हाई वी आर लूजिंग एंड वी आर इन यू कैन से कि लर्निंग, वी आर लर्निंग. 5 साल से आप लर्न नहीं कर रहे हो, आपने कुछ रिजल्ट तो डिलीवर नहीं किया है. 5 साल से आप सिर्फ लर्न कितना सीखेंगे?
And this is a senior men team. I mean, this is the senior men team that gets the most importance. What disappoints me even more is that it's just getting trickled down to other teams. Women team को कोई पूछ नहीं रहा है उनके कौन से मैचेस होते हैं, क्योंकि सारा concentration पता नहीं कहाँ जा रहा है. So if we are messing up here, where are the other teams going to go? We don't talk about if the under 17, under 19 teams are going to get any matches in the national level.
I mean, I think it also should be clear to those who said in 2022, when this whole AFF crisis came in, COA came in, a new AFF was formed, that over the last 1.5 years, this so-called new AFF has taken us back. You know, I'm not batting for Praful Patel or Kushal Das or Sunando Dhar, but I know Kushal and Sunando knew what was to be done to keep this system running. That's also a reality. This new AF came in. It was sort of a post-COVID situation. And your job was actually to try and restart what was happening pre-COVID. If we're going to talk about youth football, the under 13 league, the under 15 league, the under 17 league, or under 18, sorry, under 18 was turned into under 17 championship. And we've been more focused on creating a vision giving
What
importance
kind
to
of reason, sir?
Santosh Trophy, make it a FIFA tournament in Arunachal Pradesh, where I said FIFA cannot allow its name to be tagged along and you hold it in Arunachal Pradesh. Not happening. China doesn't even need to say anything. Our priorities have been wrong. This national team has been left to Igor Stimac. Nobody seems to be overviewing him in the federation. Look at the whole fiasco over the summer when he was making statements, and the then secretary and the president said, cool down your media tone and all this and that. And yeah, I mean, all these people are to blame for this.
But sir, एक चीज
yeah.
नहीं, एक चीज मेरे को ये नहीं समझ आ रही कि हाउ कैन यू फेल ऑन दी एवरी फ्रंट. मतलब आई थिंक जिस तरह से आप देखे लेफ्ट सेंटर राइट एवरीवेयर यू हैव बीन फेलिंग, आइदर इट्स अ यूथ लेवल, सीनियर लेवल, व्हाटएवर कॉल इट. आप कहीं पे भी सही काम नहीं कर रहे हो.
Because you are not qualified to be in the position that you are in.
Position, exactly. Yeah, I think that should be the question raised by the friends. कि जब तक right people को आप right political
priorities. I mean, what is your priority? Olympics or football? That should also be both are important positions, right? आप उस एक level पे आप दो, it's like managing two job roles, full-time job roles, that too.
It's
completely mockery. मतलब I think Indian football का mockery बना के रख दिया इन लोगों ने. And,
I think there is another thing. I think it is too easy to say that, but again, then the Indian national team is the end product of the work that has been done in the last 10, 15, 20, maybe even, if you add Sunil, last 25 years in Indian football. Everyone involved, and I don't take myself out as I've been in different positions. The right things have not been done. Vested interest, personal interest. People have done things, and this is the end product. I think also some of the Indian coaches are shouting, foreign coaches out, Indian coach needs to win. You guys have been coaching at different levels. You are part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. What have you done in the last 20 years as coaches? These are the players that you have coached. Some of the players can't even stop a ball, can't even trap a ball. We're talking about basics.
I think that mentality of
today is not only the failure of Igor Stimac and those players on the field. This is a complete failure of Indian football. Anyone and everyone. So again, I take that accountability. I've had my multiple conversations with people and try and see what can be changed. I will try that. Will they allow it? I don't know. Yeah. Especially after certain things that I said today. But the point is, we need to keep our voices up. Because yes, there are people listening on social media. But there is a certain level of people who don't even have social media, who are officially running the thing. And the reality is also that we need to ask for things. Accountability. That's what I'm saying. Accountability is the main thing. Whose fault is this? Simple question.
Yeah. Accountability is I mean, you're spot on that, Anua. And I think even as content creators, even we need to be very careful of the kind of content we are putting out. Make sure that it's backed by facts. Call people who, this is something that even we are also learning on the way, that call people who can actually give genuine information on your podcast or your platforms. So we also have that responsibility. As fans, we need to make sure that we are asking the right questions, we are following the right people, not believing everybody that that is putting out information out there. Do not blindly believe just any propaganda out there. Just make sure what you are absorbing, what information you're absorbing is so important. And I mean, Arunava is also here. He's not technically officially in the system. We are all talking about our accountability. We are all talking about, what we can do. And I don't know if anybody now of from the official system
नहीं
will
नहीं
actually
नहीं
take
नहीं
responsibility and say कि नहीं,
एक चीज
I will offer my resignation. आपको लगता है ऐसा कुछ होगा ना, कि कोई भी
नहीं
आएगा और कहेगा कि
उस
it's my
उससे
responsibility?
उससे पहले सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट अक्षता, एक चीज मैं यहाँ पे क्लियर कर देता हूँ रिगार्डिंग जो आपने बात बोली कि सारी इंफॉर्मेशन यूट्यूब में आ रही है। देखिए, वी आर ऑल फॉर अपने अपने काम कर रहे, सर भी फुटबॉल में काम करते, अपना काम करते। अगर हमारा कुछ इंटरेस्ट होता तो हम इन लोगों के अगेंस्ट ही क्यों बोलते? अगर मैं ईगो स्टेमिक की तारीफ करता या फिर
हाँ,
तारीफ करता, मैं भी, मेरे को कोई इंटरव्यू मिल जाता मेरे चैनल पे, मेरा तो मैं बढ़िया हो जाता। सर को यहाँ पे कोई पोस्ट मिल जाता इंडियन फुटबॉल में, उनका बढ़िया हो जाता। स्पोर्ट खबरी का भी चल पड़ता, यहाँ पे रेगुलर प्लेयरों के इंटरव्यू मिल जाते। हम फालतू में
प्लस
क्यों
और
इनके
भी तो
अगेंस्ट
अच्छा काम
पंगे ले
करते
रहे
हैं, तो
हैं?
ऐसा नहीं है कि हमने
क्योंकि भाई
कहा नहीं है। हमने
नहीं,
हमेशा
हाँ,
we always try to put out the right picture कि कोई अच्छा कर रहा है. I'm just saying like that we have, I mean, क्या
नहीं
करेंगे.
नहीं, इसमें देखिए, नहीं इसमें अक्सर है, उसमें वो वाली बात नहीं। तो सही चीज है वो बतानी चाहिए कि हमारा कोई उस तरह से एजेंडा नहीं है कि
हाँ हाँ
बाकी
हाँ.
लोगों का है। तो आपको 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 क्या बोलते कि देखना है कि किसका क्या एजेंडा है। अगर आपको समझ में आ जाए तो आपको सारी चीजें क्लियर दिखने का लगेगी, नहीं तो भाई आपको लगेगा कि हम नेगेटिव। तो हमारा कोई वो नहीं है, हम तो चाहते हैं इंडियन फुटबॉल का बेटरमेंट। सिंपल सी बात वो है। इसके चाहे इसके लिए हमें किसी के सामने भी अगेंस्ट बोलना पड़े, हम बोलते हैं, एंड खुल के बोलते हैं, पीछे छुपा के नहीं बोलती। दैट्स दी थिंग, दैट्स द थिंग। एंड वो आपने जो भी हमें पिछले 1 साल से फॉलो कर रहा है उसने देखा होगा। सो ना तो हमने क्या बोलते कि एएफएफ, कोच, प्लेयर्स, आईएसएल, ऐसा नहीं है कि हमने किसी को सिलेक्टिवली ब्लेम किया। एवरीवन जहाँ पे गलती जिसकी है उसको ब्लेम किया। हम हमारा ऐसा नहीं है कि भाई सिर्फ इसी के पीछे क्या बोलते कि एजेंडा चला कि इसको सपोर्ट करते रहना। सो दैट इज द थिंग जो आपको फ्रेंड्स को डिसाइड करनी है। बाकी फेक नैरेटिव्स आएंगे मार्केट में, भर के आएंगे। पर्टिकुलरली इस तरह के जब टाइम होता है तो हर कोई अपनी जॉब बचाने की कोशिश करता है, या फिर अपने कुछ एजेंडास लेके आएंगे, अपने प्रोपोगंडा लेके कुछ कुछ लोगों को भेजेगी। टीममेट्स के पास तो पूरी आर्मी है सोशल मीडिया की। दिस पीआर टीम इज वेरी ब्रिलियंट। सो उसके पीआर एजेंट तो आपको बहुत ही दिखने को मिल जाएंगे। मे बी प्लेयर्स के भी हो जाएंगे, आईएसएल के भी कुछ मिल जाएंगे। सो आपको डिसाइड करना है कि इंडियन फुटबॉल के हित में कौन सी चीज है एंड अगेंस्ट कौन सी चीज है। प्लीज सर कंटिन्यू।
Yeah, so my question was, do you guys think that anybody will actually take accountability now? Do you see anybody taking it? Or do you see people even finding a scapegoat for that matter?
Again, Indian football is such a beast that sometimes the scapegoat just falls off the back of the beast, and people think it's forgotten. I think people need to realize that a lot of people will also now try and explain what the problems are, offer so-called solutions. But also these people are part of the problem. They're not part of the solution. I think that's that's what people who are watching and listening today need to learn and understand is, who do I follow? Who do I don't follow? And that's the challenge, right? That's where we stand and what we need to do. So yeah, we need to work on this. This is not easy, but we have to work and try and grow Indian football.
एक चीज सर, मैं एक आपको हाइपोथेटिकल सिचुएशन देता हूँ। आपको क्या लगता है कि स्टीमेज आफ्टर दिस हॉरेंडस परफॉर्मेंस ही हिमसेल्फ विल रिजाइन और एएफएफ विल सेक हिम? इसमें से कौन सी चीज आपको ज्यादा नहीं होगी? दोनों में से होगा कुछ नहीं, दोनों में से होगा कुछ नहीं। मैं सिर्फ आपको बोल रहा हूँ कि कौन सी चीज आपको मोर लाइकली लगती है कि ये शायद पॉसिबल है बट या तो इम्पॉसिबल है, इन दोनों में से कि एएफएफ।
If Igor has to go, the AFF will have to fire him. He will not go on his own. I don't think he will go on his own.
Okay.
Realistically, he does not even have any backup options to go anywhere, right? So, like, job security to hai till the time. But hypothetically, if
इससे बढ़िया वर्क फ्रॉम होम कहाँ पे मिलेगा? This is the first coach I have seen जो वर्क फ्रॉम होम करता है।
But hypothetically, अगर ऐसा कुछ हो भी कि वो चाहे अपना resignation देना, do you think that the stage we are in, a new coach will have sufficient time for us to prepare for the World Cup qualifiers?
आई थिंक ये एक ऐसा यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं कि ईगो स्मिथ की जो पीआर टीम है उसने इंडियन फुटबॉल फैंस के दिमाग में घुसेड़ दिया है कि अगर यहाँ पे इस टाइम पे कोच को सेक किया तो हमारा वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफिकेशन खतरे में पड़ जाएगा. आई डोंट थिंक सो. आई एब्सोल्युटली डोंट थिंक सो. एंड वो हमने काफी इससे पहले भी ऐसे एग्जांपल देखे कि ये तो सिर्फ आपका वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स है. वर्ल्ड कप से पहले भी काफी कोचेस सेक हुए हैं लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी टीमों ने अच्छा किया है. कतार का परफेक्ट एग्जांपल है. होम पे एफसी एशियन कप हो रहा है. आपने जस्ट बिफोर द टूर्नामेंट coming up a 3-0 away win against India, still you sack the coach. So I completely disagree and I think अफगानिस्तान के सामने अगर आपको लगता है कि हमें नया कोच के आकर डिफिकल्टी होगी तो आई थिंक वैसे भी आपका है कोई क्या सिस्टम ईगो टीम के अंदर की ऐसा है कि वो एकदम से नया कोच आएगा तो प्लेयर उस नए सिस्टम में ढल नहीं पाएंगे. आई थिंक ईगो टीम भी क्या करता है जो आई थिंक होता है मैच उसी तरह से लेता है तो नया कोच भी आके सेम ही कर देगा 2 मैच में. उसमें क्या दिक्कत है. मैं आपको लिख के देता हूँ कि अगर नया कोच आता है देन ऑल्सो आई थिंक हम जो एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि हम राउंड 3 में जा रहे हैं वो चाह ही रहे हैं चाहे वो टीम में हो ना हो. डजंट मैटर. सो आई थिंक उस डर को तो बिल्कुल निकाल देना चाहिए. फैंस के दिमाग में घुस चुका है कि अगर हम अभी से कर दिया तो हमारा वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफिकेशन राउंड 3 खतरे में पड़ जाएगा. नहीं होगा. आप कर जाओगे फिर भी कर जाओगे.
Rahul, do you agree with this? And also, I mean, considering that there is a lot of negativity also in the team, and there is, I mean, I can't find a word better than politics here. There is
And
a lot of
एक
politics
नहीं
also going on.
जस्ट टू एड वन पॉइंट देयर हमने कितनी बार ऐसा एक रिपीट होते हुए दिखाई कि जब नया कोच आता है तो सडनली जो टीम हार भी रही होती है वो एक सडनली यहाँ पे जो बैक टू बैक 2-3 मैच होते हैं उसमें विन निकाल लेती है. मल्टीपल टाइम्स जमशेदपुर का परफेक्ट एग्जांपल है. किसने एक्सपेक्ट किया होगा कि ग्रुप बी से वो यहाँ पे क्या बोलते कि सुपर कप के सेमीफाइनल में जाएगी. दे आर बीटिंग नॉर्थ ईस्ट यूनाइटेड, केरला ब्लास्टर, आईएसएल टेबल टॉप टीम दे बीट. एंड मल्टीपल एग्जांपल एट द ऑल लेवल इन फुटबॉल इन ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. हमने देखा है कि जब नया कोच आता है तो एक प्लेयरों में भी वो प्रूव करने का पॉइंट रहता है. एंड हमने काफी बार देखा है कि जो टीम यहाँ पे हार रही है कंटिन्यूअसली लूजिंग स्ट्रीक पे है वो सडनली यहाँ पे फर्स्ट स्टार्टिंग के 2-3 मैच में वो विन ले लेती. तो आई थिंक ये तो बिल्कुल मतलब क्या बोलते कि वो बेकार सी चीज है कि हम ये सोचते कि हम राउंड ऑफ 3 में नहीं जाएंगे. वो हो तब भी ना कोई दिक्कत नहीं ना हो तब भी चला जाए.
Yeah.
Rahul, what your take on this?
Yeah, so first thing, I think I just disclaimer, I don't think he's the right man to sort of take Indian football forward. But I don't think Igor Stimac goes right now. For me, I would still want him to leave only after the World Cup qualifiers are done. I know Qatar have done well with the new coach and all of that, but I still think to have some. Again, I don't want to disregard the work that he has done. I'm sure he's not just waking up in the morning, going to the training pitch and doing nothing. Of course, he's at the end of the day, he's also a coach, and he would have worked with the players fairly well. And but yeah, I don't think he's the right man for the job because of his ideologies. He thinks he can play sort of that nice, beautiful football and all of that. Unfortunately, we don't have the players to do that. And if he's going to be stubborn about playing that way, it's just not going to happen. So yeah, after and again, it's about having a plan. If the AFF does have a plan of sort of a new project in mind, a certain way that they want to go about things, then yeah, it would make sense to sort of sack the coach and then bring in somebody else. But at the moment, I'm not too sure if they have a plan right now. So if they don't have a plan, sacking the coach, what does it? I mean, what does it matter? You have your World Cup qualifiers, and he's already coached them halfway through. Might as well just finish the job and then leave. Yeah.
Arnava.
He has to go. Period. Now. I mean, Afghanistan is not something which is a done deal, in my opinion. You have someone in Ashley Westwood who knows the Indian system very well. Ashley was with Harun Amiri at the last match against Uzbekistan. A lot of Afghanis have played or play in India. Most of them have a European education. The same problems we had against Syria today, we'll have against Afghanistan potentially. And I've said this even earlier. I said this in October after the Malaysia game that he should go. And I said it doesn't matter that the World Cup qualifiers start. And I would not take an ISL coach, to be very honest. I would bring someone who has no connections to any team or any player in that way. Let someone come in and choose a new team. Because after all this, what we've seen over the last few days, we need a radical new start. Unlikely to happen, but that's the best thing that could happen to us.
I don't know
स्क्रैच से स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा.
Yeah, I mean, the question is right that do they have a plan? I mean, if you do
It
sack
doesn't
Igor,
matter if the AFF tomorrow announces, listen, Igor Stimac is gone, we need a new coach. You'll have, I don't know, 200, 300 people applying for the job. And you can then just see, listen, does it fall in my salary bracket, or does it, there will be some coaches at the tournament who are still coaching teams, who will most probably, if they know that AFF officials are there, will be reaching out to India and find, are you going to fire your coach actually? Just wanted to let you know I might be interested in the job. This is how football works. No, actually, you're laughing, but that's how it works.
no, but Arnav, doesn't the AFF sort of need to have a project in mind before appointing a new coach?
And
What
also,
project?
I would like to.
What
अरे
project?
तो
What is
प्रोजेक्ट
AFF?
राहुल प्रोजेक्ट होता तो इसको क्या
Ideally.
रिअपॉइंटमेंट करते क्या? And you are talking about कि
no.
वो
Listen,
सुबह उठ के क्या
I don't
करता
need
है.
project.
I don't
Listen.
say on.
Sorry, तुम बताओ. तब मैं उसके बाद में बोलता हूँ.
नहीं वो राहुल बोल रहा था कि ये तो कोच है, इसने भी कुछ मतलब काम किया है. मेरे को भाई 5 चीजें ऐसी बता दो जो इसने 5 साल में की हो, जो आपको 2019 से इंप्रूवमेंट लगी हो. एंड मैं कैमरा में ऑन कैमरा नहीं बता सकता कुछ चीज, बट ठीक है भाई, दिस नीड्स टू बी गो, सिंपल एज दैट. एक बात मैं तुम्हें एक चीज मैं तुम्हें राहुल लिख के दे देता हूँ कि इससे कोई भी नया जो बंदा आएगा वो इससे बेटर करेगा.
But
No, I
considering
agree. I agree that he needs to go. Again, I'm not saying that he needs to stay, but I'm just saying you're 2 games into the World Cup qualifiers. You have 4 left. It's about a few more months, and then it's sort of a fresh season, sort of a fresh period.
नहीं फिर नहीं राहुल
Rahul,
तुमको लगता
again,
है
with the national team, it doesn't work that way. I think we need to get two things very, very clear. A national team anywhere in the world, it's not about a long-term plan and a process. Some teams, some nations say that, but a national team has to normally deliver results. You're trying to get the best players from your country, from your league, who suit potentially the coach to come together and get you a result. But we're not a France. We can't say, you know what, Benzema is not behaving well, or he's done some wrong things. Tata bye bye, chuck him out. We've got Mbappe. Who needs Benzema, right? We've had, you have that. Argentina or Brazil can say, I leave this player, or I leave that. England can say that. Germany can say, we can't. But the point is, you need to find the best 11 to start. And are the 26 best Indian footballers at this moment, with an understanding of having the opportunity to play international football, are they there?
Yeah.
And that is something which is very, very important. And I say it, I would not take an ISL coach because the bias comes in. I've experienced it when I've traveled with the national team, when then I-League coach became the head coach. So I know how it happens. Half of his team suddenly became national team players. It happens.
Okay.
I don't want that biasness to come in. I want a coach to come in and say, listen, you know what? Let me observe the ISL for a month, 1 month and a half. Hopefully he would have someone like a Mahesh Goli as an assistant coach. Because Mahesh understands the game. Mahesh will give you the right inputs. Let me talk to Manolo, talk to Ivan Vukovanovic, talk to Habas, talk to Peter Kratky, even call up a Des Buckingham potentially. And you can say, hey, Des, can you tell me something about your ex-players at Mumbai City? And then make your decisions and make a plan about who am I going to call up.
But that was claimed. It was claimed that was being done in the current system as well. That like the coach is in touch with all the ISL coaches, has a good interaction with them from time to time.
But most of the coaches did not talk to Igor at some stage because Igor said some stuff about them, right? I think Vukomanovic was one of the few coaches who was talking to him. So it's a national team is a depiction of the best of, in an Indian context, because none of our players play abroad, of the ISL teams. And I know a lot of people will say that, younger players need to be given a chance. Could be. But I know that a lot of coaches either say, listen, my young player is playing at a certain level, I need to give him a chance. Like that 19-year-old Uzbek defender at Lens, right? He's a different level. Or they have the experience to play at that level. You know, I'm crazy enough to say that there are certain experienced players, if fit, a Raulin Borges or a Lenny Rodriguez might have added stability to this team because they know their way around.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm putting in young players, Parthiv Gogoi, would he have made a difference? I think Mahesh Naurem, as I said today in the live, Mahesh Naurem has this aura around him that he's able to play around in a pressure situation. Mahesh is a special talent, but what did we see today? Physically, he's not ready for this level. They're pushing him around. Either he beats his man directly, or one shove from the shoulder and tata bye bye, you're gone. And this is what you need to know. And this is something which a coach needs to understand that. I feel that's his main role. That's his main job, to understand, can I play this player at this level? I remember Bob Houghton used to say that again and again. He left out some of the best players of that generation because he said these guys cannot play at Asian level. You know, and talking about tactical game, about possession football. I mean, what was our game plan in these 3 matches? Right? That's my simple question. What was our game plan?
Possession-based football.
And again, yeah, brilliant. Possession without possession, right? That I think that was our game plan.
New way find by India.
Tajikistan, to me, is a prime example. You go 1-0 behind, Lebanon get a red card. Lebanon has overpaced in their first 45-60 minutes. And therefore, you know, Tajikistan started playing football, not fighting football. They were fighting towards the end, but they played football. They scored 2 brilliant goals. You know, and that's something which I feel, you know, I want that emotion. I want that mentality. I want that passion. That hurts the most. I didn't see that. That is, if I saw passion, if I saw emotion, and we still lost, I'm fine. I would have even said lose 5-0, 5-0, 5-0. But at least we fought. We gave emotion and something. This is like we were like a rabbit in front of a snake, and we were just waiting when will the snake sort of eat us.
बट सर इसीलिए डिसअपॉइंटमेंट भी इसीलिए ज्यादा है ना. डिसअपॉइंट हम क्यों ज्यादा हुए? पता तो हम सबको था कि मे बी यहाँ पे क्वालिटी साइड से हम हार देंगे, बट वही चीज, वो एक टीम से एक स्पिरिट और एक चीज वो दिखनी चाहिए, वही नहीं दिखा. एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई थिंक एटलीस्ट मैं तो सबसे ज्यादा इसीलिए यहाँ पे डिसअपॉइंटेड हुआ टीम से. रिजल्ट चाहे कैसा भी आए, आई थिंक ठीक है, एज ए फैन हो तो थोड़ा सा वो होता है कि जीतना चाहिए था, बट आई थिंक जब टीम की ओर से वो एफर्ट या फिर वो भी नहीं दिखता ना, तब थोड़ा सा वो लगता है कि भाई क्या मतलब चल रहा है. मतलब आई थिंक व्हाट वी हैव डन,
that's the problem. That's exactly the problem that I feel. And you know, if I see I look at Rahul's face, right? There you realize, you know, how you know, there is, you can see through Rahul sometimes, you know, and I feel bad for him because it's like, Rahul, come to my age, you'll have many more afternoons and evenings like this. You know, you're very young, and this is, there'll be highs and there'll be a lot of lows. Therefore, I say, it's weird. We had a bigger loss than any of the 3 at this Asian Cup in 2011 against Australia. But that, hearing the national anthem, about 12,000 people at the Al Sadd Stadium supporting India, Subrata Pal playing one of his best matches of his life. everyone giving everything. You know, that was impressive. And you lose 3-0, 2-0, 3-0, 1-0, and you feel there was nothing. And that is the sad part. That is the sad part of where we stand, you know, that you think that in the year 2024, Indian football would have moved ahead. Because also the ISL, FSDL, Reliance need to ask themselves the questions. And this is what I always say, but a lot of people in Indian football don't believe it. I said our football is worse than it was 15 years ago. We are physically fitter. We see that against small teams, but we're not fit enough to play at this level. At this level, we were not competitive, you know. And this is something. In 2011, we challenged Bahrain. We equalized that brilliant header from Mangi. We thought we can score a second, concede 3 quick goals. Renedy's long ranger, which goes off the post, you know, Frank Lampard goal. Abhishek hits it again against the post. Sunil then pushes it in, and we lose 5-2. South Korea, penalty. Sunil scores. There was something in that. But this time around, as I said yesterday, Rahul and I spoke a lot. You know, I said, I hope we at least score 1 goal. It was hope. It was not conviction.
Conviction, exactly.
There's a super chat that
तीनों भाकेर का है. ये क्वालिफाई नहीं करेंगे. 5-6 साल के बच्चे हैं, वो करेंगे फ्यूचर में अगर हमने अच्छा बेस बना के दिया तो. बट उसके लिए भी आपको एक सिस्टम तो देना पड़ेगा उनको, बच्चों को. एंड वही तो नहीं है आपके पास. आपके पास ग्रास रूट यूथ लेवल पे वो स्ट्रक्चर है क्या? नहीं है, अनफॉर्चुनेटली. तो दैट्स व्हाई वो उम्मीद भी नहीं दिखते ना भाई. दिक्कत ये है कि चलो ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ भाई आगे चीजें चेंज होने वाली है, तो लगता है कि हाँ भाई बिल्कुल नेक्स्ट AFC एशियन कप में कुछ अच्छा हो सकता है. पर तेरी एट द मोमेंट आप ये नहीं बोल सकते कि आप पे वो उम्मीद दिखती है. आई थिंक जिस तरह से आप प्रोग्रेस कर रहे हो या फिर जिस तरह से आपके डिसीजन मेकर है, जिस तरह से स्ट्रक्चर अभी तक है, उससे तो नहीं लग रहा कि भी आप उस तरह के प्लेयर प्रोड्यूस कर पाओगे.
Thank you, Dino, for the super chat on behalf of Viren. And also, guys, we can see all the comments. It's just that the conversation today is so intense that we are looking at the comments. So ऐसा नहीं है कि हम comments नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं. And almost 200 people watching us, guys. Please subscribe to all the channels. Arnav's channel has been banned. Please go on his Twitter. There's a tweet addressed to YouTube. Please make sure you retweet it so that we can reach out to YouTube and get this fixed. And subscribe to all the channels, please.
By the way, I faced the same question today कि फिर से हार गए क्या. And I mean सच में यार इतना मतलब वो लगता है कि मतलब काउंटर क्वेश्चन वाज कि इंडिया कभी जीतता है कि नहीं. मैं बोला इंडिया.
That's hard.
That's hard. After this loss, I think how can you मतलब very difficult.
मेरे आसपास वाले तो पूछते हैं कि अच्छा कौन सा मैच चल रहा है क्रिकेट का. आई एम लाइक नहीं, मतलब people don't even know कि Indian football के games हो रहे हैं. I have people around me. So.
Mine are a little more. They're watching the game. They're like, bro, what is this? They're all watching. They're like, man. I mean, they don't watch every game, every India game or every sort of ISL game. But I think they know, because they're football fans. They know what is missing, and it's not that hard to see. It's not rocket science.
अच्छा भाई, विनीत लाखरा भाई का एक कमेंट ले लो भाई कि आज जीतेंगे, कल जीतेंगे, परसों जीतेंगे, बस यही उम्मीद मेरी रोज खेलते रही है, जो हारते भी है. तो यही दिस इज द लाइफ ऑफ इंडियन फुटबॉल फैंस. व्हाट यू कैन से. गाइस कि रैप अप करने का सही टाइम.
We will keep talking about what has happened. We will also be joined by some other guests in the upcoming weeks. Hopefully, Sashwat, aka Drog Baba, will join us tomorrow. So we will try to bring in more content on what has happened in the AFC Asian Cup, and we will also try to bring in some positive stories and positive news for all the supporters, so that thoda positivity aaye and thoda what we can do from our end, right? Thank you so much, guys, for watching us once again. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
एंड एक चीज लास्ट में एंड कर दिया क्या आपने?
नहीं.
एक चीज लास्ट में बोल देता हूँ मैं कि जो भी भाई हम एज ए फैन थोड़ा सा मतलब एग्रेशन में कुछ आज बोल दिया हो तो इतना ज्यादा दिल पे मत लेना, क्योंकि आपको भी ज्यादा तो फर्क नहीं पड़ता। वैसे तो आप दिल पे कुछ लेते नहीं हो, लेकिन जब कोई आपको हार्श ट्रूथ बोल दे तो वो चीज आप ले लेते हो। तो अगर किसी को पूरा बुरा लगा हो तो उतना दिल पे मत लेना भाई, बस यही चीज है। बाकी तो भाई मिलते हैं कल फिर।
Thank you guys. Good night.
Good night.